Hello again, everybody, and welcome to a special Thanksgiving edition of Primetime Fantasy. I'm your host, Mike Hunt. It's Week 12 in the GFL. Let's take a look at all your matchups. All of our matchups have early Thanksgiving Day kickoffs. Let's first take a look at the Commissioner versus Stylin' and Profilin'. The Commissioner, Greg Park Jr., has a 2-game lead in the Lewis Division. The only chance for Jason Laney or his brother Justin Laney to take over this division lead, they will both need to win out and beat the Commissioner in the points scored tiebreaker. A win by the Commissioner and a loss by the Stylin' and Profilin' and the Psycho Phillies, and he will clinch the Lewis Division. Speaking of the Psycho Phillies, our next matchup is Justin Laney taking on Jacob Parr and the Seamen. Again, like we said, the only chance for Justin Laney to make the playoffs, he will have to win out, so a loss in this one. If Jacob Parr can get the win and Justin Laney loses, he will be knocked out of playoff contention. In our next matchup, we'll see two teams hoping to break a losing streak. It's Big Yank and the Wild Hogs versus Nick Marble and the Raw Dogs. The Team Irrelevant Award winner, Big Yank, is living up to that award's name. Team Irrelevant, again this year, only one win on the season, currently riding a 5-game losing streak. That busted up belt and trophy won't be going anywhere if the Big Yank has anything to do about it. Nick Marble and the Raw Dogs, after a very strong start to the season, are currently on a 3-game losing streak. His playoff hopes are all but lost. He'll be playing for pride in this one. Our next matchup will have major playoff implications. A Game of the Week contender, it's the Go-Go Gadgets versus Hide Your Kids, Hide Your Wife. Scott and the Gadgets currently hold on to the last wild card playoff spot because of a points tiebreaker. Currently only 4 points ahead of Justin Holt and the Angry Dragons. This will be a must-win game for Scott unless he wants the tiebreakers to decide his playoff hopes. Lucky for Scott, he ranks first in the coach rankings. He'll need a perfect lineup if he wants to get the win in this one. William May is sitting in first place in the league, 10 wins and only 1 loss on the season, currently riding a 5-game winning streak. A win in this matchup and he will clinch the Moss Division Championship. In our next match, we see two teams who failed to reach their potential on the season. It's Chris Carter and the Shield versus Eric Rossetti and the Dirty Birds. Chris Carter and the Shield, a team much better than their record would suggest. Currently 5th in overall points, a top 5 scoring team, just unable to get the wins on the season. Of course, Eric Rossetti, making his GFL return this season, was just unable to get the wins that he would have liked. Both of these teams have been eliminated from playoff contention, again playing for pride in this one. And of course, this all leads us to our Week 12 GFL Game of the Week. It's the phenomenal one, GFL champion LJ, taking on back-to-back former GFL champion Justin Holt and the Angry Dragons. This is a battle for the Dawkins Division Championship. The winner of this matchup will be in first place in the Dawkins Division, and their playoff hopes will look ever so sweet. Definitely a must-win scenario for both of these teams. A loss in this one, and they will be depending on tiebreakers to get into the playoffs. Both teams, of course, former GFL champions. LJ looking for his 3rd title, a back-to-back championship season. Justin Holt, former back-to-back champion, will be also looking for his 3rd title. This is a huge game, the most important game of the season for both teams. It's sure to be a good one. That wraps up our Week 12 preview. Let's take a look now at the Primetime Fantasy Regular Season Challenge standings. The Primetime Fantasy Regular Season Challenge has come down to only 2 competitors. GFL champion Joe Kellogg Jr. currently sits in first place with 5 points. And in second place, GFL Commissioner Greg Parr Jr. with 3. These next few weeks, it will come down to only these 2 participants, as Greg Parr Jr. is the only one who can catch the champion. So the Primetime Fantasy Regular Season Challenge comes down to these 2, LJ and the Commissioner. And this week, the Week 12 Challenge, we are going to be keeping an eye on the wide receivers. Both teams have some of the most talented receivers in the league. So, the owner Between LJ and the commissioner, whoever has the highest scoring wide receiver of the week will be awarded 1 point towards the Primetime Fantasy Regular Season Challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week on Primetime. Everyone have a great Thanksgiving, enjoy the games, and we'll catch you next week.